Cinema Steven here, and this is your review of Roadhouse, the newest film on Amazon Prime starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor. Let me just get this out of the way first. Roadhouse, 1989, Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott, should never have been remade. Some of these movies you think are untouchable. Just you wouldn't ever want to do it because they're perfect as they are, and people still watch them today. But if it's going to happen, the best case scenario that you can hope for is a movie that is entertaining. It takes the bare bones of it and makes it its own type of movie, which I think this new Roadhouse actually does. And I see a lot of negative criticism towards this film online. I think most of it does stem from the fact that it is remaking one of the greatest, campiest cult action classics of the 80s. And not to mention the fact that it's kind of stepping on the legacy of Patrick Swayze, which we all love Swayze. We're crazy for Swayze. It's just something that's always going to happen. It's something that we always feel. I don't think that this is a bit fair for the remake because, like I said, I actually thought it was pretty entertaining. You watch this movie and it delivers everything that it sets out to do. It's action packed, it's goofy, it's funny, it has insane levels of action, inexplicably, of course, just comes out of nowhere. And Jake Gyllenhaal actually has been good in pretty much everything that he's been in. I can't say enough good things about the guy. Ever since he was in October Sky, the guy has been knocking out films, and he's pretty much great in everything. He's great in Donnie Darko. It's a cult classic. I particularly don't like that movie, but I still can say that he's great in it. I think that he brings something to it with his physicality, because if you've seen him in Southpaw, you can see that this dude can get ripped. And no, I'm not his personal nutritionist, although some people tend to think that I am, mostly me. But he just transforms himself physically into this just superimposing character, and it works for the movie. And not to mention the fact that everybody's heavily criticizing Conor McGregor's performance in this movie, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. It's the best case of stunt casting you will ever see. Basically, what that is you bring someone in who fits a particular role to a T. And that's exactly what Conor McGregor does. He comes in here, he's this guy named Knox. He's got his name tattooed on his stomach 3 times, and he just goes in there and pulverizes people. He has the goofy $1 million man walk that he does in real life, and he's incorporated into his movie, into his performance. People are copying it online. I think it's hilarious. What do you expect from the guy? Do you want him to be Al Pacino, Robert De Niro? No, you don't. You want him to go in there, bash some skulls, act goofy, act over the top, which is exactly what he does. And it actually works. And it leads to this perfect confrontation in the final film. Now, that was another thing. I was kind of hoping for some more of those moments that made the original Roadhouse so notorious, kind of the honky tonk music playing or the throat ripping out scene, for example. You don't really get any of that. But that's another thing about the movie that I thought was great, is that the new setting, it takes place in Key West, Florida. And I don't know if it's maybe because I've been living in Florida for so long, but I actually thought it was really great. I thought it made more sense to be in somewhere more chaotic like Florida. But again, if you want just mindless entertainment, rip roaring action, much like the original, I highly recommend you watch Roadhouse on Prime.